And then at the end, like to get it wrong, and I was wrong, Richard was right, and then bring a mass people.
Right. Well, especially in him being wrong, he's intentionally being wrong, so he can present the argument, so you can talk about these things in the first place.
Yeah,
that's it. That is it. Just so you can actually talk about the other side of how things really work. Somebody has to say some dumb shit. And he is more than happy to embarrass himself and say dumb shit and pretend to be a woman and do all of these other things. But nobody seems to like get it works. The way that he's perfect. The way that he does what he does is just fucking phenomenally perfect because it works. And
he's an actor.
And he is a cool motherfucker. He's like actually a normal dude. He really honestly is, guys.
Yeah, his Eric Kowal thing is hilarious, but I don't know. But just recently, I think I unfollowed him. I might even blocked him on one of my accounts. But it's like, yeah, sometimes it just really really fucking annoys me. Even just like Richard, like some of the shit that he posts, like with all the clothing and stuff, it's like that, like the outrage marketing literally makes me like enraged.
Yeah, but they're living in your head rent free now.
Yeah, dude. Of course.
It's working.
That's what. Yeah, it is. It is. Like that's like I'm like a hex kid literally for the rest of my life. So it's like you fucked me and it worked.
It works. Yes.
Dude, did you see the post like where he was like being like, how is this not a bigger scam than FTX? And you have like RG3 doing the speech and stuff, and then you see all the Hexicans go be like, fuck you, Eric Waller, and I'm just like laughing on the side, like just watching like all the Hexicans get so angry. Like they gotta like really realize what he's doing.
He's doing a really good job at it.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. Every time I see an Eric Wall piece, like or post, like I'm just cracking up, dude.
Yeah, he's playing a role. That's it. He's just an actor.
It's like he appeals to the more educated crypto connoisseur.
Well, like as soon you guys saw the interview for the movie with Eric Wall and Richard Hart, where they're going at each other, and he's like telling Richard he's not going to go to America and all these things, right? Like after the filming was all done, like they were all buddy and schmoozing it up and talking all like it's like when the cameras are rolling, the characters come to play, and when the cameras are done, you don't need to be the character anymore, and everything is back to what you would consider normal until you get on social media platforms. Well, you can't be normal any longer. You're playing a role, so it's always going to be that way, and it's very successful. They're very smart.
I think that he's one of the candidates for Godwale. Judge me, but he's one of the people that I think that could be Godwale.
I thought it was kind of like already established that kind of like Godwell, with the way his like typing and all that stuff, it was like British or something.
All to throw you off.
I don't think
I was
going to say,
a fucking way to make believe.
Yeah, exactly. Any of the information that you think that you have on Godwell about English not being his first language and the religious side of it, like actually making commentary, like
all the sevens.
I don't appreciate you guys calling me Godwell because of my religion. So then people were like not using those terminologies anymore, right? It was a way to make it all work. All of these different aspects of things are all working very well to get together in the social game. So I don't think that you're actually ever going to actually get information that'll lead you down the path in which you find discovery, because you won't. Intentionally, you will not. It's brilliant. Very well played. Anonymity is awesome. Nobody's threatened by the essay. Nobody. Nobody asks about the essay. Nobody.
I forgot there was an essay.
But everybody's up in arms about the OA, about Godwell, about Richard Hart, about all these things. and it's always keeping you talking about one thing: hex.
Yep. Bit of Hegelian dialectic sprinkled.
Yeah.
Hegelian.
It leaves room for the rest of us to educate, and then take all the macro, social environment of all the stuff where their emotions are involved and all the crazy shit all the time, to bring in the new people for us to teach them how it works and what to do and to move better. Especially we have so many people that are against centralized exchanges as well. Sorry, Rich, go ahead.
I was just agreeing with you in the sense that, all these different aspects of all of it is just working perfectly. I don't have any FUD at all. Zero.
Yeah, for real.
How would you guys that are American in the United States that have to follow United States rules and regulations, okay, let me restart this. You guys know that SBF, with that whole FTX thing, they went and bought a bank, right? They bought a small, little, tiny, insignificant little bank, and they put a stake in it of like $10 million that they paid to this bank to claim ownership of it. And the bank was only worth maybe barely over $1 million.
It was like a 20 by 20 bank. It was literally like a shoebox.
So there was no fucking way that they would ever, even in the downfall of all the shit, be denied from the bank to allocate and move funds, because they were never going to be debanked because they owned it, right? So generally the way that they're able to do these things is because their main business is outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. Like in this particular instance, it was the Bahamas, right? And the fact that they owned a bank within the United States had nothing to do with their jurisdictional reach, right? Because money can be transferred regardless, but since they own the bank, they just can't be debanked. They can't be stopped from moving the funds, right? Even if it was a hack or whatever they decide to make claims of. But it's a significant amount of power as a community, even though it was individuals at the top that did this to be able to pretty much take everybody's money. It's incredibly powerful to have that understanding of what a community can do if they actually owned a bank. And I think that we're falling into these types of situations now, especially with Pulse Chain needing on and off ramps into legacy finance types of industry back and forth. And we're having trouble with transmitter licenses and things like that because there just aren't any banks that are willing to be able to well, not that they're not willing to be able to, but they're just not willing to put any risk towards that, especially for our community, right? What if I haven't signed an NDA, so I'm not going to give you guys too much information, but I will give a small amount of ray of potential hope. The diving into the understanding of what you can do with Indian reservation backing that do not need to follow US regulations or guidelines, and the potentiality of utilizing that group of people that fall outside those jurisdictions that have their own bank and have been in our community without us knowing it, and have reached out to me to have further discussions about these types of things.
That would be sweet. It's like Indians, like Indian reservations, they can literally do anything they want. Like literally anything they want.
When they brought this to me, I was kind of going through it a little bit, and I was absolutely astonished at how brazen and how they're like, fuck these people. Like, they can't tell us what to do, so this is what we're going to do because we're noticing that the community has an outreach and outcry for these types of things. So we want to start to do something that is going to allow for the community to pretty much have their own bank. So, and they're also connected with legacy finance banks as well. Like I think the second largest bank in the country, they're also connected to, also, which they can't be debanked. So I'm going to leave that there, just so you guys have a generalized understanding that these types of things are being worked around and worked with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not talk too much about it. But yeah, Indian reservations are sick, dude. It's insane.
Yep. So that's pretty neat. I figured that would be something to be kind of exciting about. Although, don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Right? Like, still need to have audits, still need to have white paper, still need to have things, and it's going to be like potential availability to do global online services, buy, sell, conversions of like Hex, PulseX, liquid loans, USDL, Fiat, Famous, SHIB, Hedron, Icosa, other tokens that can be voted on by the governance of the bank. Tokens straight into fiat, just like your normal on and off ramp. Physical cards, virtual cards, ACH, OTC, wire transfers, SWIFT payments, banking black cards with open lines of credit even.
The answers are all out there. Like, all the solutions are out there. It's just finding them.
Oh, we're going to find them, brother.
If things get really crazy, I heard Hexarico is pretty cool. There's already a lot of hex skins out there.
Yeah,
I feel like third world countries. It's like third world countries, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Like, there may not be a reason to have to do all that nonsense, I suppose. Wouldn't it just be easier if you didn't have to do all that?
I like that better.
Yeah. But with everything, it needs to be checked. It needs to be gone over. It needs to be like weeded out as to whether there were potential cracks. You know, things like if there comes a certain point in time that even something like this, where I look at it and I'm like, I'm not really sure, then believe me, I'll bring the fucking hammer down on top of it, and I won't support it. So, we got a little ways.
Is it something totally separate from Alex, or that's something you can't even? I know, whatever. Yeah, is something totally separate?
Yeah, absolutely, completely separate. Yeah. Yeah, this would be more like you go to your Wells Fargo and you would be able to do everything from there. Everything. But it's not a Wells Fargo because it doesn't fall under the jurisdictions of the United States laws and regulations.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I wonder if you have to be in that, you have to be a resident of the state that the reservation's on, and how that would work, you know?
Some kind of like tribal reference or something.
You'd be able to do an electronic signature. You would also probably, for certain aspects of it, have to KYC.
Yeah, the KYC thing isn't really too big of a deal, in my opinion.
Right. And I would assume that the bank, this particular bank, would take the majority of the KYC for most instances. So that way, like I said, it wouldn't be for all things that you'd need to have that for it. But I haven't worked out all the details exactly for all of it yet. But these guys are the professionals. I'll let them do their thing, and then we'll check everything over and see how it works, and then we'll get into the requirements that would need to be discussed for the communities. But for right now, it's like, just got to let them do their thing, figure it all out, get all their stuff. And then when there's actual paperwork to look at, then we'll have further discussions. And at that point, I'll shut the fuck up. Like, I won't be able to say anything about anything at that point in time. until it's publicly available. But for now, I mean, I can tell you that, yes, there are community members in the community that you would probably know. Their availability with being able to provide this types of service is because, yes, they are part of the tribes.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was really just gonna ask. Like, are they actually Native Americans?
Yes. Yes, they are. They have indigenous rights that the federal government can't touch. Right.
Yeah, I think it's like, depending on the tribe, I think it's like over to 30 or over 25% or something like that. Some are different though, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, they are already owners of the bank. The bank already exists.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's their right to bank independent of laws and regulations that apply to U.S. citizens. So,
Oh, fuck. Hell yeah, they are.
yeah.
I've heard some crazy fucking stories on reservations.
Yeah. So I mean, I've never really seen somebody take this route, and it's so stupidly obvious now that I've had information, right, to see that it's funny how it goes full circle, right? Come here, move the indigenous people to these lands to kill them and pillage and take all their shit, and then full circle they may be the savior in the end result.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think a while ago, this is a long time ago. I haven't checked back up on it, but I think it was something like, I forgot per tribe what it was, but they might be getting like a lot more of their our federal land back, like joined up to their reservations.
Well, any reparations that comes back to anybody, it's probably the indigenous people of the area. I mean, it would make sense. Not that it's like our responsibility now. I mean, shit's done past, right? It's not like we're doing anything to anybody at this point. But man, the amount of power that they can carry, they're definitely aware of it. And it's pretty neat to at least be reached out to, right? Like this just happened recently, so it's all just kind of like coming to fruition of these possibilities. So hell yeah, I jumped on it. I was like, fuck yeah, let's get together. Let's see what you got. Let's figure it all out and make sure that it's legitimate to do. And then we'll move forward from there. So I probably won't bring this up again. This will probably be the only time that I'll talk about it. Even if you guys try to ask me about it, I'll probably just deny even mentioning it again. Like I said, I'm not under an NDA right now, but that's probably going to happen. Just based off of like any other thing that they can have, because I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't matter. Like, I don't own a bank. You guys don't own a bank. So if I was to have more details as to how a bank would be available to do these things, it's not like we'd be able to go front run them, even if you did have all the information. But that's not true. Like, I don't know who all you people are. Like, some of you guys might own a fucking bank, right? Apparently, already in the community, some of the people that we've been talking to daily that even come into this chat and listen, they fucking own banks, bro. So I can't put it past maybe one of y'all also does.
Well, apparently I just got a banker to buy a ton of Watsas because we just had like 50 ETH of volume today.
Nice. What is it usually?
Like a couple ETH. Like we're up to 250. 227 ETH.
Nice.
Okay.
And we're still not on a front fucking page.
Nope. No, we're not allowed, dude. Please, it's a Hex product. You're not allowed to show up on anything at all.
Crazy, bro. I mean, we're at least in 7th place at that point, out of the top 10.
See, the trending is like most recent, so like it should be number like 2 on trending, and then on the top page, yeah, it should be like 7. Or no.
8?
5.
5 now? Holy shit. Before when I looked at it, it was like, this should be 9. And I figured it probably went up with what you're talking about.
That's for the, you have like the all time and then like this year and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was just thinking, the thought just popped in my head. It's like the coolest part about this is like how, I think that watches are really going to blow up once the art gets on there, and then maybe that'll help us get into the actual trending front page stuff. But the coolest part about it is that there is no buy the rumor, sell the news, because it's a closed pool. And if you're going to sell the news, that just means you're going to be selling it means you're going to be fucking burning the Watsa, which is just going to make the sales go up.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that, like, with the actual art attached to it, is going to cause for less to be burned because people don't want to lose the art.
Well, yeah, but that's that's almost exactly my point. Like there is like in this situation, there is no buy the rumor, sell the news, because it just only makes it so much better. And then if somebody thinks they are going to play the game, like if they think the values are going to go so much higher, which I'm assuming they are, and I love making an ass out of me. And so it's like it's only going to help. It's only going to help our share of the pool, because if the value of these things go up, and I'm sure people are going to burn them by mistake. It's just like it's just another one of those things where like there's like zero possibility of FUD to even happen.
Yeah, I mean, the values on OpenSea for just selling those Watsas with art on them could potentially go up depending on the art. They won't be burned; they'll just be sold at a significantly higher value depending on the art that's on them.
Yeah, and then once people actually see some different pictures, because in my mind, only handful of times I've actually been on OpenSea to look at the collections, it's fucking boring because you're just looking at the same picture. But obviously, to me, I know the values and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure if somebody ever came across the collection, they're like, "Oh, what the fuck? This NFT, it's worth something, and it has the same picture. Like this is shit." But then once you actually get to see the art on there, and then it'll perk some interest in people, then they'll actually be like, "All right, well, what is this?"
Yeah, you'll actually see a 1M point getting sold for $1,000 fucking dollars for no good reason other than the art, and you're like, what the fuck? Why? It was just because of the art. It's not a tree anymore. Some of that art is pretty sick, though. Some of the artists, like some of the art, obviously, because there's 20,000 of them, it's like minimal, like very minimal stuff, data that they allocated to be able to print and create that art. But then there's some of them that those artists spent hours on, and they are extremely intricate pieces of art. Some of them might be already owned by certain people because they're based off of your dumbass being a community member and just speaking in public.
Do you know
when the art is going to be released?
It's due on the 8th.
The 8th is the due date to have it all finished, and then it'll start to be getting processed at that point in time, which Alex was probably already ready for it.
Is it going to be randomized, or is it going to be based off points, like certain NFTs go to certain point value and stuff like that?
I think, okay, so some of us that, like in the art side of it, like that have been creating and being a part of it, were allowed to allocate ID numbers of certain wallets that are that hold those particular ones, and they will get the art that they were allocated to. Absolutely, because it was already requested without payment. Kind of like a insider thing. But for the rest of them, they will be allocated randomly. It'll just be slapped right to them. All IDs will be covered that aren't burned. So yeah, you have a select few IDs that are allocated already, specific art, and then the rest of them are all random. So yeah. a little bit of both on that question.
I asked Jawa for a particular Watsa, and he told me to go fuck myself, basically. So then I told him, then I sent him a picture of the round Earth.
Like I have one, you guys know that video that like shows a bunch of different Watsas, and then at the end it shows burn Watsa. Yeah, I'm sure you all have seen the video. But it's not like that. That isn't the NFT. That's like a representation of like 50 different NFTs for the pictures, right? But I have one that was sent to me that I went and created a totally different wallet, because y'all are going to see it. Like if you guys go through this thing, you're going to see it, and it has my fucking name in it too, so you know that it's mine. So I definitely put it in a separate wallet all away from all my shit, so that way nobody can track all my stuff together. And it is like that. That is the NFT. It goes through multiple different pictures, like 30 or 40 different pictures, and at the very end of it has like a executioner guy with my name on it and the whole 9 yards. Just pretty fucking sick. The guy spent a long time on it.
Why the fuck do you get your own Watson? I show the fucking shit. Where are the artists giving me what I want? The
artists that did this for me, they have been with me in the community since like day one, bro. That's why. I can only assume that's why. Like I didn't ask for it. They did it on their own volition, out of the kindness of their own hearts. So that was pretty nice of them to do.
Seems like a dick move to me.
You know what I think about the artwork? Right click, copy paste.
Sure. It wouldn't be on your WhatsApp though.
Yeah, I know. But for me, the value, there's not real.
Some people have already copy pasted for their avatars, I've noticed. Like off of that original video that was there, people have paused the video, snapshotted a picture, and already used it as their avatar for their Telegram, which is pretty neat. And people are doing that. That's advertising, in my opinion.
Yeah, DJ actually offered to make me a bespoke piece of art, but I still might just send him one of my watches, but I'm not buying right now because I have to do other shit. So it's like I can afford it, but I can't necessarily buy a Watsa off OpenSea right now and send the ID because life stuff.
Yeah.
All the cheap ones are gone anyway. Somebody came in and swooped them all up the other day after my little rant. So, yeah.
I mean, there may be certain people that went and made 1M point, like hundreds of 1M point Watsas, just to be able to make sure that people like you could still receive them. Meaning that you wouldn't see it on OpenSea; it would be directed directly to you.
Yeah, I have one, but yeah, I have my own Watsas.
Yeah. Okay. Then all you would need to do is just let him know what ID number that it is that you want attached. Prior to the 8th, of course. Because they have to separate them into their own folders and send them in to Alex previous to all that so that he knows.
I was wrong on that compounding point of view. I think that Matt you were talking about. So
What?
Compounding. So you could obviously you've got a bag of Icosa that's in your Hedron staking that you can either use to get more pool share, and so yeah, it's good.
Wrong in a good way? Is that what you're saying?
Because there's three bands of people. One's talking about arbitrage, more Icosa go underneath the price, blah blah. The third theory, which is I've done, is that hey, you've got high yield from the staking. That's random. That's high above trend. And the third point of view is that the third theory is compounding, where you can compound your Icosa basically into other pools to maximize more yield.
I think what he's saying, without saying it, is Mike was right. That's pretty much what I heard.
Well, he certainly isn't saying that. Not now.
I am saying it. They're correct. Yeah.
Now Mike is going to have trouble getting out of his house with his head swollen so big. You're going to have to get a SUV instead of that challenge.
You know, you're just looking at your stakes and you're like, holy shit, dude, that's a lot of Icosa that I yielded. But then you could also look at it and be like, oh, dude, that Icosa isn't staked right now. It isn't earning yield.
So was that you, Mike, that was talking to Buckfoot about that? And he was like, yeah, just burn them and then sack your tokens to his famous thing. Was that you?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I heard about that.
And then he's all like, I'm just kidding. I have Wattses too. He just wants other people to burn them also.
There's actually some incentive to like if you have a stack of Wattses, like I'm really thinking that like after the year of seeded liquidity, like the amount of Icosa coming out is going to be very low. It might be good if you have like a 200 million or or like you have 5 Wattses that are all the same size. Maybe after the first year, burning one for all that Icosa yield would be a good thing.
And I'm sure that you're right. Like, there's probably people who have already made the determination when they made their Wattses in the very, very first place that they had specific numbers that they were actually using and allocating, just like they would have if they were making hex stakes and doing a ladder. So after the first 365 days, there's probably a certain percentage of the 6,000 holders of Wattses that are probably going to burn within that 365-day period. And it's not going to be determined whether Godwell ends a stake or not now. That's for damn sure, right? Because that was something that we were talking about. But without the bonuses, it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
There's still like Icosa yielding fucking machines without it. I actually kind of feel like if you had the bonuses, it would make Wattses just 1,000 times better than everything. Like now it's easier to hold ceiling price.
Yeah, I would have to agree. There's no more 20%, 15, 10% bonuses coming out to those people, so that's a lot less sell pressure.
Yeah, dude, just like I would rather Icosa be at closer to the ceiling price than to get extra bonus coins for people to dump.
What's really funny is those people I told you about who harassed me. They like to message me only positive messages now all the time because of the many years that I defeated them. So I get messages from like, "You the only one, King." Literally, and I just got one just 20 minutes ago. His name's Killer Bear.
It's probably Wave Rider.
No, Killer Bear has a crowbar and he tries to bust in your house.
You need to move, bro. You know what?
He looks like he benches 350 pounds.
You're involved with too many bad people. You should probably move.
Trust me, mate. I'm solid.
Well, at least for 3 feet distance in front of you. I know that much.
No, I'm anonymous. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare not be anonymous. I'm Master Troll. I got a master's in troll physics.
In troll physics?
Yeah, he's only messaging me that I'm the king because he knows he can't defeat me.
All right.
This is like his third encounter with me. That he doesn't play League of Legends.
What?
He doesn't play League of Legends, nor does he play Mortal Kombat, so he gets outplayed every moment of his life when he's around me. I'm actually more dangerous than him.
How often do you guys get together and play video games?
No, he sometimes meets me in places you wouldn't expect, like alleyways.
The arcade?
No, outside of like when I'm walking in the hood, sometimes I don't always know when I'm getting tracked. Remember when I said that it was my cell phone that was tracking me? That cell phone tracking stuff stopped. So since after years of me defeating them while they were tracking me on a cell phone, now they just message sweet positive messages to me like, this guy is awesome. I predicted it all from a stare down that I had from across the street, but I didn't even look the guy in the eye. I just saw out of the corner of my eye that he was staring at me, and I predicted all this. Based off the assumption that narcissists tend to want to kill artists. Based off that assumption.
What gangs do you have in the States? The Mongol Mob, Black Power.
Cartel?
In our country, we've got the Mongol Mob, Headhunters, Hells Angels, Black
We have
Power.
the Hells Angels. I had to deal with the Hells Angels, and I had to deal with the cartel. They were both easy.
Actually, one of my old sales trainers, he used to make the leather jackets for the Hells Angels in our area.
They all suffer from one problem. They're usually like 40 to 50 ex-cons, and they smoke too much meth. Basically, they're the guys that somehow didn't go to prison.
Ah.
Yeah, basically, here's the deal. 50% of all murders go unsolved. So if someone tries to come to kill you, if you make a big enough ruckus, they pussy out, even if they're pros. And if you establish dominance over them multiple times, they're actually, it really depends on what type of snake you got on you. You know, if they're stupid, you can always figure them out. I would never do it, but I would be difficult to deal with.
Yeah, gang patches. I want gang patches to be against the law.
You know, are you in Australia? Because it is against the law there.
The next country along, yeah. It's not quite illegal yet, but I want it to be, yeah.
I think what they need to do is they need to figure out who all the gang members are, and then, I mean, the cops need to fuck with them because they're too powerful. It's getting ridiculous. I'm seeing shit with like Hell's Angels rolling in crews of like 500 people. It's basically the clan rolling through the town, ready to go shoot up your bar.
I got a question. When do you guys think the Pulse Chain's going to launch?
2 weeks.
4 more weeks.
Or do you think it'll go past April, or do you think it'll be before April?
After April.
Right.
Mid-May.
See, I told myself I was going to be rich before 30, and April is when I turn 30. If Pulse Chain doesn't launch before 30, April, I might not be rich. So it's going to launch before April. That's how it's going to go because I have to always be right. That's what's going to happen now.
Okay. I'm thinking about doing something stupid like moving to Puerto Rico.
I mean, that isn't such a bad idea, I guess, as long as you can be anonymous there. I hear their taxes are pretty good.
I hear that it costs like almost $5 for a loaf of bread there, though. So you better make sure that you do have enough to be able to cover all the expenses that are about 2 to 3 times more expensive than normal.
Are we talking like Wonder Bread, or are we talking like artesian bread at the nice section of the grocery store?
No, just your regular sliced white bread.
Wonder Bread is OP. Have you not seen it in NASCAR?
Not your baguette.
For Wonder Bread.
And you're going to spend a lot more on gasoline.
I guess I'll pay my 20 to 50%.
And a pack of cornflakes or rice bubbles cost about $5 in our country. Yeah.
I'm not interested in that one anymore now. I need my crisp Pringle under $3 and give me cancer. I was thinking about going to Cambodia because apparently it's super cheap. Or am I thinking the wrong name? I'm probably thinking the wrong name.
Cambodia, you said?
Yeah, super cheap. You know, imagine being like a millionaire in like a super cheap area where it costs like 50 cents to do pretty much everything. I'm walking around with a nickel. I'm buying shit. It's all about that troll.
There's a lot of like serial killers who stalk and kill artists out in Cambodia, though.
There probably would be,
Look
actually.
at those statistics. Yeah, like you might not want to go there, dude. You're probably like a top 10 person they wish would move there, you know?
Yeah, but they wouldn't know. I'd have to somehow troll physics my way through it. We'll figure it out. We'll get through it somehow. But maybe fuck Cambodia. Hungria.
Or some shit, some nice place. So there.
Russia.
For fuck's sake, it's retarded.
Let's go. I want to become the Red Scare now. I'm adapting.
I hear Ukraine is beautiful this time of year. Go there.
I have to become military unit now.
I bet you wouldn't have to worry about income tax there.
I need to pilot an AC-130. Imagine flying an AC-130 and microwaving Hot Pockets, and you're like, dude, it's just like Call of Duty.
I bet one of the qualifications is you need to be able to kick further than 3 feet away from your chest.
Well, the point of that is to be able to stand about 3 feet near somebody and kick them in the chest without them noticing.
It, of course, has a 4-foot requirement.
Well, it's kind of like a knee, but like a quick boot to the chest. It's sneaky. It's not meant to be effective. All you're doing is raising your right foot and trying to stick it on their chest and stand on them. But you don't want to like do any of the running motion. You just want to basically jump in place to try to stand on them. And they never see it coming because everyone thinks you're going to punch them.
Do you grapple them first and then spin them around into the ropes and then wait for them to come back?
Stickly, if I could get the perfect fight going, I would want to push them so then they get off balance and then I would want to set him up for a kick. Out of all the majority of the fights, I just start off with the kick. I never really do the tackle, but that's what you should do.
You want to know, like, another tact to really throw them off is take them to dinner first, and then in the middle of dinner, then you put the foot to the chest while they're sitting down.
That's when you marry them and then have kids.
I think that's how marriages work anyway.
But you know, I remember when I was dating a woman, she's like, "Why don't you just like kill me?" And I'm just like, "That's just too much work. How about you just kill yourself?" And there's all these moments where she's like, "Why don't you strangle me?" And I'm like, "Why do you want me to beat you?" And then I'm getting like yelled at, and she's like, "You won't fucking hit me." And I'm like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do? If I start hitting this bitch, I'm gonna knock her out."
I was naked when she was making these comments because pretty sure that. Then just knock her the fuck out, man. She'll stop asking it after a while, I'm sure.
No, I got away from that thing. That thing was weird. Just randomly wanting me to beat the shit out of it. I'm just like, what the fuck are you trying to do? You're trying to drag me into court here? I knew a guy who had a girl. She started scratching herself, and cutting herself, and then she called the cops, say beat her, and I'd be like, "No, there's cameras here. She's not getting beat." It's like some of the shit people deal with. Basically, I couldn't deal with female problems when I had to succeed at all these other things. The only issue is that like I'm getting a little older. I'm still decent looking, but I have to reach a critical mass, or I probably won't get laid. Cause fuck America. You gotta be way too much, and there's and a lot of the girls are just, I don't know how to say this, but they sleep around.
Probably because they view you as weak.
They're hot women. They have a lot of options. They sleep around.
Generally, women sleep around on a man because they view their man as a pussy and that he's not going to do anything about it.
No, you do something about it. It's just that they're whores, and you find them all the time.
I don't find those types of women.
You're sleeping with her, and then she just sleeps with somebody else, and you're just like, oh, we're done talking. Let's just do that all the time. It's basically how every relationship goes. It's my stepbrother, every relationship I had to deal with. My older brother, even my dad. Including my friends. There's a lot of articles about this, I assume.
You attract what you need, I suppose.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't get paranoid, but, females have a lot of options. And guys do not.
Not all females.
Not all, but
unfortunately, they don't all just go into the same bucket where you can classify them as the same thing. And as soon as you would convince yourself that that is true, then you will never find the ones that are worth it.
Yeah, but I'm not really looking.
That makes more sense. That statement there makes more sense to me as to the reasons why you would fall into these sluts and whores that you always come across all the time, because you don't care for the woman that's going to try to stay in the bed anyway. You're trying to kick her ass out at 4 o'clock in the morning. So you're
Well,
looking.
I mean, I don't want to be. Well, here's the thing. I have to. I can't carry another person in life. I'm too heavy.
Well, I don't think it matters how heavy you are when you're carrying somebody else. It would be them that would.
Well,
be
I can't take care of a female partner. Like I don't provide anything for them. If I have a female partner and she wants to go get food, I'll tell her to go buy her own food.
Well, I mean, she should understand that if she wants to be an equal.
Yeah, but that relationship's too good. Very few people get relationships like that.
I have one that's like that.
Well, lucky you.
Her and I are in our late 30s. We don't have kids. We live in separate homes. We've been with each other for over 12 years. We don't have these types of issues. She's very good.
Well, that's just good relationships, but
that's why I know that there's not a deplorable bucket of all these women are the same, because I happen to know quite a few women that are pretty powerful women.
I don't know any of them.
Of course you don't. You're 29, bro. You don't need to worry about these things.
My sisters and even girls in my family are like that too, including the other ones. I don't know a single one that doesn't sleep around.
I'm not arguing that it's tough to find, obviously, but you have to be a certain caliber of man to get that woman to stop that behavior.
All right, well, if you can do it.
It's not that tough, bro. It's not. You're not even presenting anything to look like you would be the type of man that would garner any woman. And I'm not being disrespectful. I only take this because you're like, I don't have anything to offer. Like, I'm not trying to be the person that would give her the feeling that if she was with you, that she was safe and comfortable. And if something were to go wrong in her life, that there would be somebody there that she could lean on to like have a partnership with, right? Like you would actually do in a good relationship. But if you're not offering any of those things, then you're not going to find a good woman anyway, bro. And you're not going to garner for a woman to change her mentality to try to be
a good woman.
Well, you're not a good man, so you're not going to garner a good woman.
Well, that's subjective, but I wouldn't want a good woman, nor a bad woman. I wouldn't want to have a person in my life for a long period of time, regardless of who they are.
And when I say you're not a good man, I think you know what I mean by that. And I'm not.
No, I do know what you mean by that. It's subjective. It's an opinion.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like you're a bad person.
Don't get self-conscious.
That you're not trying to. I would have no reason to be self-conscious about that.
All right. Well, I don't have I'm not self-conscious about it. So don't worry. I told you it was good.
Speaking publicly allows for these judgments to happen because you're the one that takes the risk to open your mouth to speak publicly.
I take that risk constantly.
Yes, I see that. You talk about a lot of stuff about yourself, and I see that it allows for a lot of people to make judgments about you because you don't really say much.
Absolutely, I deal with it all the time, but I don't care.
Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of substance to it, just a lot of,
Well, it's not really. There's not really necessarily substance, but there's not really necessarily consequence. You can be annoying. That's about it.
I mean, if that's what your end goal was to do, I suppose.
Not particularly.
I don't think that that's what your end goal was to do. In the the garnering of the conversation in the first place, but I also don't disagree with you in some of the things that you're saying also. So I mean, and plus, like, dude, you're young. You're so fucking young. So yeah, I think you're on the right path. Like, enjoy your shit, right, while you can.
Oh, dude, I actually reject girls all the time. I just don't want them.
Yeah, I could tell why. Like if they're just a bunch of trash ladies, then like obviously
they're hot, but they're whores, man.
Well, especially if you know that stuff about them, then you're probably not going to try to waste your time with them.
Like when you're hey, cool, that's a good one.
Do you not know War Dog at all? Have you not seen him?
That's what I look like. So girls talk to me all the time. I just reject them. I'm a jerk. I'm an elitist jerk. If I think that the girl I'm talking to just isn't like
Executioner, have you not heard this guy before?
No, I totally get it. Like any woman that comes to this particular individual, that she's immediately going to be turned off because he's only in love with himself.
No, I only talk to smart people.
No, you don't.
If I didn't think Hexecutor was smart, I wouldn't be talking to him. So if I see an attractive female
You
talking to
don't
me,
talk to people. You talk about yourself, and you talk about dumb shit all the
oh wait,
fucking time.
this is hold on, this is one of my controllers. He's trolled. He's in a permanent stasis of troll, and he can't get over the past. PB. It gets harder, doesn't it?
You are a fucking moron. You know you're a moron. You treat people like they're fucking idiots. And we hear the same dumbass shit come out of your mouth in other chats as you're talking about now. You make no sense, and you like going around in circles, literally talking about yourself.
How do you really feel?
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, baby, I'm all ears.
I'm dying laughing.
PB, I'm apologized, but I think you are diagnosed as a libtard.
Yes, of course you do. And how many people live on the planet now?
I don't know specifically. That doesn't change anything about me. Good job. Nice try.
I think your last time you said there was 1 trillion people that live on the planet. 1 trillion people.
No, I
You
didn't.
think there's something
You're
like 20
exaggerating.
billion? You think there's 20 billion people living in the United States? There's a midget chasing you. You get zones, and you go into a zone, and you
I go
slow
in a zone,
down,
yeah.
move over to a
Yeah.
side of the street.
My macro to my micro. Yeah, I do that.
You don't
No, I'm cool.
bathe.
Of course not.
You got
Showers for
weird.
plebs.
You got weird things going on with your sister. You think she's trying to kill you?
Definitely don't have that. That's weird. Oh, but yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, because that's not weird. Your sister trying to kill you. That's
No,
not
there's
weird.
no. Well, that's not weird. That's not weird. People like to try to kill me. See how you're a triggered person. You don't think people don't like to kill me?
I wish you would like just go away. That's for sure. That would be
PB,
good.
you know, if you were high social
Like,
IQ and chatted up people and made a lot of friends, maybe you wouldn't have to resort to being rude.
You don't have any friends. You are like, I don't want friends.
You don't know that. I have quite a bit of friends. I actually, but by what I don't want friends, I mean I'm
literally
trying to lose the
said
bad
you
ones.
don't have friends. You don't like people. You
Yeah,
don't
that's
trust
true.
your friends.
I don't trust most of them.
Yeah. So that's not called a friend. That's called an associate. That's fucking. But
Maybe
you
I'm
got
a paranoid person.
schizophrenia. Oh, you're very paranoid. That's 100%.
Oh, you don't know that. I just told you maybe.
I will say that it's
No,
probably
that's 100%.
all of this is being probably more than likely recorded and put onto YouTube for everyone to enjoy.
I don't care if it's being recorded. I've already talked shit to these people to their face.
No, I don't think that you understand, Word Dog. Nobody gives a shit to record these conversations to come and listen to you talk.
Oh, fantastic.
They come here to listen to people talk about the asset and to have good questions and to like talk about like macro finances and micro finances, liquidity, allocating resources, like all sorts of like actual
Executor,
things.
I understand your point. I was just casually chatting. PB's a bitch.
I
agree with you, Executor.
So in that,
isn't it Hexecutioner?
Yeah, he doesn't care to read it. It's fine, but I know what he means. He says it.
Holy shit!
The reason
This
why
is the funniest shit.
Is so that way people can like go follow up with things that are being chatted about in this particular chat, because the community actually asks for those types of things. So that's the reasons why it's recorded. But I just also wanted to reiterate that it is more than likely being recorded, and the things that you're saying and stuff like this would probably be like clipped or whatever in some sort of way, and you're probably not going to be in it. So to be a really like, instead of like a 4-hour stream or some shit like this, they know that maybe there's like 20 minutes that they could actually absorb of stuff to be able to get like some sort of intelligent conversation that they wanted to find pertinent in going to a YouTube channel and like clicking on bullet points to listen to Watts of God Mike or maybe Crispy come in and say some stuff, or any of the other people that like come in to have questions about stuff that we can pinpoint. So I did want to reiterate that that in this particular room, that we utilize the room and the space for educational purposes and all sorts of other things. So when you come in here and you speak so personally about all your stuff that you have, it's going to be captured for everybody, whether you like it or not. So maybe
Well, I don't. It doesn't bother me.
It may not bother you, and that's okay for you, but it might bother other people. And when
I actually stop talking inappropriately when I feel as if I've protruded those boundaries. This explanation has gone on way too long. I think people understood what you said in the first 2 sentences.
Do you know who I am?
Not particularly.
That's good for you, because I could remove you from this room as soon as you decide to speak that way to me again.
Well, I'm just being upfront, and you are too.
I am also, yes. And I'm trying to be diligent with what I'm saying here. You don't need to be an asshole.
Well, I didn't necessarily think that was rude.
Well, that's because you're an asshole.
My apologies, Executor. It's really PB that's bringing it out. He just wanted to come in and beef.
I totally get that. And I've seen in other rooms where people don't particularly like you. Like they point you out as an individual.
That's common. That's
and
common, Cash. That happens all the time.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm loving this War Dog guy. Honestly, I'm dying laughing.
I mean, as long as it's not like to fill the air, we talk about all sorts of shit, War Dog, in here. All sorts of shit. Obviously, I'm not trying to attack you or like put you in a position to like stifle you in some sort of way.
I get it, dude.
If you come at me, you're fucking with the wrong motherfucker. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Because there's war in my name.
Just let you know, Executioner made a lot of us a lot of money by like giving us his information for free and not charging paid group. Like I've made thousands of dollars talking to Executioner, and I'm on the low end compared to what some people.
Look, guys, I should have been responsible, and I should have muted PB.
I mean, I don't feel slighted by you or whatever, right? I'm not trying to bring nothing to you, just so that you know.
Oh, Executor, remember what I said at the very beginning? My controller's in the chat.
I know.
That was referring to PB.
Hey,
I gotcha.
Hey, War Dog. His name is Hexecutioner. Can you not say it, or is it
Hexecutioner?
There, okay.
No, well, I recognize words as like symbols, and I was just saying it really quickly. But what I was basically trying to say to you is that this person in the beginning was going to start up previous beef. And yeah, I know that we talk about Hedron and Icosa. I talk about Hedron and Icosa all the time. I love it.
People probably start beef with you often.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that War Dog knows it because he even propagates his value of being a troll. He talks about troll physics. It's troll physics. Like he's intentionally like doing these things to try to get people.
I'm a passive aggressive troll.
Yeah. And you know what? I want to thank you, War Dog, in this respect, is that you're not fucking drunk while doing it.
Exactly.
He nails it, man. He nails it.
At least he's sober, right? Because if you were drunk, then I would probably like have some sort of empathic fucking feelings behind it and waste my damn time with you before I muted you and like you just for 24-hour period, because like I don't want to deal with drunk people in that way. But I want to be respectful at least, right? Because I don't know who you are. I want to treat everybody like as if maybe potentially you might be God Whale, even though really, absolutely, you're definitely not. You know what I mean?
Maybe someday.
Like,
yeah, of course.
My assumptions could lead me to say, probably an asinine thing to the wrong person. So I would choose not to do that, right? Unless they.
I'm not rich, but I'm clutch. It
Good.
works.
That's good. I would assume that's why you were in those other groups, to try to find out more clutch moves.
Exactly. I
Of
like
course.
to buy the bottom of the bear market. One time I looked at Hedron when it was at its bottom, and it's one of my biggest regrets that I didn't buy. It looked so tasty, and I can't believe I didn't go in.
Were you thinking that it was going to go to 7 zeros?
No, I just looked at it without any judgment at all. I just looked at it and I thought to myself, wow, it dumped a lot. The reason why I didn't go in is because my $3,000 investment was Hex, and it was at 1,200, and it still would have been a better play for me to take that 1,200 and put it into Hedron, and I wouldn't had to do other things. And then I scoped out some micro caps, and now I am doing something with my art career with a altcoin. But yeah, I wouldn't be in that altcoin working for a company trying to replace Facebook if I didn't fuck up.
I'll learn. The only way to learn is to put yourself out there. So I agree.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't really tell. I always try to make every day better than the next. And it
That warms
works.
my heart.
Yeah. Also, pick up every penny. Keep your rent down low and your dream set high.
Don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains, though.
Yeah,
do your research. Don't just throw
My
money
man
in.
literally pick up pennies. Yeah, it's really funny. Is I'm actually Jewish, but so I'm going picking up pennies, and someone glues a penny to the ground. I'm trying to take it off, and then some other guy he wants to pick up that penny. So now I'm fighting this guy over this penny, and we're both Jewish, and only that would happen.
Where's Nick? Nick's at the bottom of the chat. I know he's in here. Nick, wake up. This is about to get juicy.
Why is he Jewish too?
Oh no, he just has his feelings about the whole situation.
Wow.
We will not get into that again. We've had our talks about these things, so it's not going to happen. So
he's a World War II enthusiast, right?
I was trolling the whole situation.
Okay.
I was controlling that situation, so we won't go there. We'll just stop that. We've already dealt with it already. So fuck.
So I have a large nose, so I like to believe I'm stealing the air faster than everybody else.
Oh, that was insightful. That was super intelligent. How's it going, Maverick?
Hey, dude, just listening in, man. Enjoying it. Enjoying you guys' intelligent
What's up,
conversation.
Maverick?
Hey, buddy. Long time. How are you?
007, Agent 07. I like to believe I'm James Bond sometimes. I'm feeling good.
No make believe.
Exactly.
Well, this is entertaining. I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to go to bed. So
All right, good night, man.
Later, guys. Thanks for the chat.
No problem.
I'm glad you were here.
Hey, bro.
So is there anybody else who's like really looking at the Icosa pool and being like, wow, that math is pretty interesting? And being like, yo, I got a goal for how much Icosa I want by the end of the seeded liquidity. Anyone got any numbers in their head? Doesn't mean you're gonna hit it, but like I'd love to try and shoot up, like try to get to like 100,000 Icosa. That'd be cool. I don't know how much interest we're gonna get, but like see what happens.
You think that lots of people were looking to snipe up some Icosa at some point. Anybody who was in Hedron is probably thinking about it. I mean, with it at these lows, you know how that's gonna go.
There's not really many auctions happening, so I think there's going to be less sell pressure, and I think more and more people are starting to see like, yo, like compounding is the play. So I think you're going to have a little bit less dumping. Like I was thinking about selling some, man, but like I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
I continue, Maverick.
Yeah, it'd be stupid to sell now, and now's the time to buy, right? We're talking about accumulating, you know, liquid.
Icosa.
Right? You're talking about, you're not talking about the staking rewards accumulation, which is very good right now. Yeah.
Well, like, cause it's good now, but like this is a little bit different than the other ecosystems. This, eventually, like once the seeded liquidity is done, like if 1 billion Hedron staked today is earning you 10 Icosa a day, like as soon as that seeded liquidity goes away, 1 billion Hedron, which will probably be at higher prices, will earn you just like 1 Icosa. But like the Hedron, as long as it wasn't borrowed or minted, like already, well, like, or if it wasn't already minted, like the amount of Hedron that you earn through the like buyback function, like stays the same.
Yeah, Icosa's definitely got a better outlook as far as value goes, right?
There could be dips, dude, because like these wallets are going to start yielding,
That's what I'm
200%.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if you were to invest at 60, you would just be providing exit liquidity for the people who've accumulated. And maybe it goes down
like I'm saying like down the road. Like I think that there's not much sell pressure right now. And like I was talking to a couple other people who have quite a bit of Hedron. They're like, yeah, dude, I'm going to restake into the Icosa pool. Even me and Mango were talking about like once our Hedron stakes come up, we were thinking about going into the auctions, but not to sell for profit, just so we got more Icosa. And then stake it before the next set of buybacks. And if we hold these prices, maybe there's one more dip, but like, if Hex starts going up for any reason, like Icosa is just going to follow.
But the only issue with like that is I love it and I like the play, but I don't like staking money away for long periods of time. I just don't like it.
Oh, well, that's the only way you get rich.
What?
Well, that's fucking stupid. Like, what the fuck?
I like the compounding. I like taking one asset and generating another asset and then increasing my principal.
That's why Icosa's been so great. I mean, like, what? There was like a break-even point from the day one stakers in Icosa, which I mean, you know, the prices
saying
or whatever.
that maybe
not the break-even point, like the double. Sorry, everybody doubled their fucking bag from staking from day one in Icosa just like a couple weeks ago. But the rewards, staking rewards are very good. Like, I mean, in the Icosa pool, I'm gonna stop talking because every time I start talking about how good they are, I should tell myself to shut up because they get worse when other people get in. But what was that, War Dog?
Yeah. So you're saying that I should probably unstake my Hedron and buy up the Icosa dip and just pound everything in Icosa.
No. You should sell your Hedron. Just Just totally forget about everything I said.
Okay.
Well, so here's the real outlook that I have, Maverick. Like the people who listen, I would like to provide information that I think is valuable. I might be wrong. I'm pretty fucking stupid, but all I do is crypto, and like I've done okay. And it's like I think that like if you want to be that hex staker who like mints $5, $10, $20,000 a month, the way to do that is to get as much Icosa as you can and not and compound throughout the year, and then you'll just start earning that every year in just Hedron yield.
Go to bed, Amira.
Huh?
Amira
I'm
has
sorry.
obviously
We hear
very
you
tired.
yawning. Your mic's open. Your mic's open, Amira. Abdullah.
He's scamming us.
He doesn't even know anymore. He's asleep.
Oh, I put him to fucking sleep. Wow, I feel fucking great.
Sleepwalking. Oh, nice.
At the toilet.
Classy chat tonight.
This on a squish banana.
Yeah, I found it very intriguing with the Icosa and accumulating T-shares over time. And
All right, he's just drunk. Do we have a mod in here?
yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Nice.
I mean,
was
I'm
funny,
staking. I'm staking Icosa, of course, and I'm getting great yield. But my Hedron is the fuel to my Icosa. If I took all my Hedron out of the 30-day stakes, then I wouldn't be feeding my Icosa.
So
Chris.
you do you. I mean, you're the god who can do like kicks to people 6 feet high in the neck. I can't do that, so I'm gonna try not to overstep my bounds here.
I mean, I see an advantage to Icosa, but I don't.
So here's the this is hard. This is like next level thinking. All right, like this. I had my buddy Kevin explain this to me, and he says Icosa kind of solves the problems of Hex and like Hedron in terms of like dumping, because like you get a portion of the pool, and even though a whole bunch of Icosa is being minted, don't even worry about that, because if you take all of your inflation and restake it, you still keep your portion of the pool without it having to move. Basically, like there are other factors and stuff like that, share rate and all these things, but you can pretty much keep your same size of the pool while you keep an appreciating asset. That and like what a great thing to earn yield in, which is itself and Hedron, which people are always going to want to buy Hedron, because if you can go get a hex stake for half price, and remember during bull markets, more people join Hex, more people following Richard Hart. He's almost up to 300,000 followers. As soon as you can start understanding that, like, hey, I could buy Hedron and get Hex half price, that sends buy pressure to the market. But Icosa, you can like keep your position in the pool. But the thing is like if you have 0.01 today, if you had like 0.01 of that and the Hedron pool, and you were like adding and just compounding, at the end you would keep your 0.01% or even go higher. And then in the future, such little Icosa would be minted, you just get to keep a nice fat stack of the pool. Go do the math on what like 0.01% of Bitcoin is, or 0.01 of Ethereum, or 0.01 of even hex. Do 0.01 of hex and then go back to all-time highs. If you were at 0.01% of the pool in hex, I believe it was like $5 or $10 million. And a 0.01 of the pool today isn't that expensive. So this is like that second opportunity to get a 0.01% or 0.1% of a pool of like an insane asset.
I will have to think about it, mainly because I know that when I unstake, it'll be likely for me to just set a limit order than to be more profitable for me to hunt out micro caps that I believe in. But I really do like the Icosa pool.
Maverick, you agree with me, don't you? Like I have the right mindset for this. Like, I mean,
the value proposition for getting into Icosa as derivative of Hex, it actually makes I can't regurgitate all the information that I've gathered. It takes a long time to really wrap your head around everything and to be able to explain it to others as well in the same sentence.
But I think I understand.
Steep learning curve. But
let
me finish, War Dog. But the staking pools are, presenting like a big payday type event for people that get in, and also the ceiling prices to their natural ratios are at big discounts, Hedron and Icosa. And I mean, so I was more attracted to Icosa than even getting into Hex just because of that reason alone. The staking pools compounded with the ceiling prices being so discounted and everything else, even though I knew likely we weren't at the bottom yet too, but I went ahead and got in there. And I'm glad I did because of all those things.
The rewards, and you locked your share rate for the next 270
right,
days.
and you got the T-share rate thing going on that you can perpetuate through their stake. Yeah. So
and
a lot of incentives.
There's a lot of things that are also happening. Like maybe art is a flop, and those were just all the best artworks, and there's only like a few hundred that people like. But we're about to start penetrating the NFT market. There's just and if you stake through my buddy staked through Big Payday, and he has a 10x multiplier on his Hedron or on his stakes. He's doing so good. I have a couple buddies who did that, and this is like that second opportunity. I think I truly believe.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as as long as Hex holds up, right? It's derived from Hex, and sure, derivative will only be as good as base. But yeah,
Hex comes back. I'm not worried. Literally zero worry. I'm not even worried about my stakes. After all is what happened, this is perfect setup for Hex to get a bigger chunk of the market. This was the biggest.
It adds utility to Hex for sure. I mean, as long as Hex is strong, this is even stronger. This does, the portability of everything and all that. Yeah.
Especially after that 60, we're 40% below the ceiling. It's
yeah, opportunity. As long as you see Hex strong and Hex getting perseverance and everything and not failing, which it hasn't. We got the SEC thing, but that's neither here nor there of what that's going to do. But I don't think it's nothing to worry about. Just to say something about it.
Well, I think these are very strategical plays, and I think they're safe plays. That's just not how I play.
Fair enough.
Do you less T points on your side, dude? Let me tell you, guys. Icosa at $10, and then we see higher Hedron prices. Your daily yield is going to be really, really nutty. And remember, there are more HSIs in the buyback. I think it was something like 90% of the HSIs were resold to the contract.
Yeah, we can expect a big payday again. The second week of February or whatever, right? Yep.
I want to
Well,
try to build up my
second
Icosa
chance for
before
everybody.
then.
I'm
and get
building my Icosa bag, but I use my Hedron and I stake Hedron and I get the Icosa and I just put the Icosa away. And I get it every 30 days, so my bag is always increasing. I don't necessarily have an income coming in, but maybe you're suggesting the possibility that maybe I sell my Hedron at what I might think of to be a top and then put it in Icosa?
I think you should sell your other shit coins, but like you do you. Like, I
Icosa is
think Hedron's
definitely the
good.
better staking pool. Icosa is better staking pool for sure.
It's kind of like
For
a
now.
lend here too. It's kind of, yeah, that's another true statement. It could change, but like you know, it depends on the percentage of your pool and if you restake and stuff. So like but like I think the play is just getting as much Icosa and locking your shit in and doing everything you can to compound so that you get the biggest portion of the pool. That's why all these HSI